Hey everyone, I'm Tejas on this side of the screen, and today we're going to talk about the evolution of knives. Knife history, which was humans' first tool which existed 2 million years ago, originally made of rock, bone, flint, and obsidian, which is glass that is formed when lava cools down.
The Stone Age. We define that period as the time when man began using stone to make tools like knives. And clearly knives were something we needed.
Basically, it's the one thing that we have no natural part of our body that can serve that purpose, that is to slice things up, to cut things.
Archaeologists prize piles of flint or obsidian chips in their search for early communities.
Having a pile of flakes, the debris, shows where people were making implements. We start focusing more and more nowadays on looking at how implements were made, not just at the final tool that you have produced, but by analyzing the flakes themselves, you get insights into the sequence of events that took place to actually manufacture the tool.
With so little surviving from the Paleolithic period, the early Stone Age from 750,000 to 15,000 years ago, the distribution of artifacts tells how a site was used by its inhabitants. Further, the chips themselves have a lot to tell.
The difference between a chipped piece of flint and a knife is virtually nothing. Basically, knives in the old Stone Age were made from chips of flint. You would pick up a chip of flint that came off. It was already by itself razor sharp. So one of the issues that we face is really what kinds of pieces we find were used as tools, or were they just byproducts of manufacture.
One way scientists better understand Stone Age tool making is to recreate it by chipping or knapping their own tools. In this case, very sharp blades are made from obsidian, a naturally occurring glass made from volcanic rock.
During the very earliest stone tool period, things were fairly simple. It would just be take a rock and knock off a flake which had a sharp edge to it. But just because it's simple doesn't mean it's not effective. In fact, experiments have shown you can just take one flake like that and butcher an entire antelope, for example.
Later Stone Age artifacts offer a clue to an even more significant technological breakthrough.
When you start to get the standardization of the human toolkit, that may be some kind of evidence that people are not simply watching what one another are doing, but actually perhaps beginning to talk about it.
Stone Age man clearly used these blades for hunting and dressing animals. They were also used for cutting wood and hacking vegetation.
Due to its role of first tool to humans, some cultures attached spiritual and religious significance to knife. Origin of the word knife is from the word knif, from Old Norse meaning blade. Okay, so what does a basic knife consist of? That is, a blade and a handle. The knife is a tool, weapon, or machine designed to puncture, chop, slice, scrape surfaces, and used in combat, kitchen, general purposes like special purpose surgery, metal cutting, and glass cutting. Somewhat like knife blade patterns. Normal blade with curved edges and straight blade, used for chopping, piercing, and slicing. A trailing point blade has a back edge that curves upwards to end above the spine, which is used for slicing and slashing. A drop point blade has a convex curve off the back towards the point, used for butchering tasks like cutting, skinning, and carving. A clip point blade is like a normal blade with the back clipped. This clip can be either straight or concave. This is used for greater control in piercing. Then we have the sheep's foot blade. A sheep's foot blade has a straight edge and a straight dull back that curves towards the edge at the end, and this was made to trim hooves of sheep. Next we have a spay point blade. A spay point blade has a single sharp, straight edge that curves strongly upwards at the end to meet a short, dull, straight point from the back, which is used for skinning fur-bearing animals. Now we are going to talk about knives in religion. Athame, a typical black-handled and double-edged ritual knife used in Wicca and other derivative forms of Nepagan witchcraft. Katar, an Indian push dagger sometimes used ceremonially. Third, we have Esquilaya, a dagger used in Tibetan Buddhism. Fourth, we have Kirpan, a ceremonial knife that all Baptist Sikhs must wear as one of the 5 symbols of Sikh faith. 5. We have Kris, a dagger used in Indo-Malay cultures often by royalty and sometimes in religious rituals. 6th, we have Kukri, a Nepalese knife used as both tool and a weapon. 7th, we have Puko, a traditional Finnish or Scandinavian style woodcraft belt knife used as a tool rather than a weapon. 8th, we have Siax, a Germanic single-edged knife used primarily as a tool but was also used as a weapon. 9th, we have Yulu, an Inuit women's all-purpose knife. 10th, we have Yucatecan knife, a traditional Yukot knife used as a tool for wood carving and meat of fish cutting, can be used as a part of Yucatecan ethnic customs. Now we are going to talk about what are present day knives made of. First in line we have the water jet knife, which is a water knife which throws out water at 60,000 psi with some abrasive, which can cut mostly everything. And now we're going to have a look on the laser knife.
Make the ground shake.
Now we are going to talk about the ceramic knives which replaced the metal knives in our kitchens. Last but not the least, we will talk about the diamond knife which has a really minute diamond in front of it. Hence we have seen that the knives have changed a lot in these years and will continue to change as changes come in human race. Thank you everyone for being such a patient audience and watching this video.